Well, hello and welcome to our backyard garden in the South Carolina upstate, our tour number 2 for the season. It's February 17th. Just finished our front yard garden video. Since that time, it's gotten a little bit more overcast. It was kind of a hazy sun. Now it's a little more cloudy, right around 48 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. It's a little on the chilly side, but a very pleasant day overall, and a good day to look around at the garden and see where we're at. There was more going on flower-wise in the front yard, but we'll give kind of an update on what's going on here in the back. So we always start in this area at the side of the garage, and as always, our irises are coming up. It'll be another couple of months before we get lots and lots of irises, but this area should be full of color. We get 2 different kinds, blue and white, and we've got to do quite a bit of work to clean up dead stuff from last year, as well as dig out some of the hollies which used to be here. We had those all taken out, but they keep coming back. They're very invasive and really hard to kill off, but we're gonna get to that when the weather starts to get consistently a little bit warmer. We have our one vinca from last season that grew up through the concrete there. We'll see if it comes back with seeds. You never know. Some more irises here. This was a daisy, Shasta daisy. Gave us quite a bit of color towards the latter half of the summer. Obviously most of that's dead, but we're getting a lot of new growth down here, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. And then we have a lot of cleome that were throughout this area. We're hoping that they've reseeded, and we're expecting a lot of the big pink and purple flowers from that before too long. Over here, this is our spring garden in the backyard. Lots of hyacinths that are getting close to blooming, probably another 2 weeks or so, and we'll have some of those. We have a few crocuses here that are haven't really done anything in terms of flowers yet, but I'm hoping that they will before too long. Got some daffodils, of course, and then a yellow knockout rose, which we just put in last year, and it grew pretty well for 1 year, but then we had a little bit of a deer problem. They came through and ate away about half of the bush during the winter. I have been told by a reputable source that this was a tough year for deer because of the drought that we had in the fall. I wasn't even aware that we had a drought, but you know, as I look at our hydrangea here, we've left a lot of the old seed pods on here, but some places they were just chewed off right away, and that doesn't really hurt the plant. It should be fine, but we did have quite a deer attack at one point. More hyacinths down through here. Color starting to develop on a lot of them, and then we have our first ones in bloom here. A few things smell more springy than hyacinths. They have a very potent scent, very pleasant. A lot of tulips coming in over here, some more daffodils, more hyacinths, and then down through here, it's mostly a summer garden from here on down. Several more hydrangeas and a number of digitalis, which should come back. We had quite a productive year with digitalis last year. Hopefully that will continue. Big problem that we had when we put in pansies in November, the local rabbits, maybe some of the deer, ate them right down to the ground. Now, obviously the plants are still there, and we're going to continue to spray them, and hopefully that will keep the animals away, and we're hoping we can get some more flowers from what we put in. A couple little dwarf or miniature knockout roses. They've got leaf buds on them, so we should start to see those coming back before too long. A lot of other things through here, mostly, like I said, summer-related plants. We've got a ground rose here, a nice yellow ground rose. Didn't do a whole lot last year, but it's actually got more leaves on it than any other rose that in our garden. So that should start to come back soon. We've got a lilac over here, starting to get quite a few leaf buds on it. Not hostas, but clematis growing up the fence, and starting to see some buds on those as well. So we should be seeing quite a bit of flowering coming up before too long. Got other things back here, azaleas, big azaleas, and a viburnum, the only one that we have in the backyard. And I'm hearing something over here. It looks like it's probably a chipmunk, maybe some birds. Oh, it's birds. Yeah, in the leaves. We haven't done any spring cleanup yet, and so the wildlife is going crazy back in here. But anyway, our viburnum is doing well. Probably going to give us some really nice big snowball-looking flowers before too long. Lambs, here was a little ground flower that we had, or not flower, but ground plant that we had last summer. It's coming out already. Doesn't really flower, but it does look nice. A stilby coming up, or actually not coming up, but what's left. You can barely see them because they're all brown, but close up they give us beautiful flowers. This is our shade garden back in here. And what else? Lots of again, azaleas, more stilby, got some hostas back in here, and back over by the fence, not doing too well right now, but I think it'll come back. There's a wisteria. We had another wisteria over this way, which did really well in just a few short months, so I think it'll come out very nicely before too long. Over this way, we talked about this last week, the deer did quite a number on our knockout roses. We had several of those. A couple of them were eaten right down to the ground. One right here you can see was chewed off pretty violently. I think that was the one. I'm not even sure. There's not enough evidence to tell, but I think that was one that was kind of a favorite of mine. It had flowers that were both yellow and pink on it, and it would go through color transitions as the flowers would mature over several days. Our big knockout rose here, the biggest one we have in the garden, about 8 feet tall, really chewed up pretty severely, but about half of it's left. It should do fine. It should come back. These things are pretty prolific, and as you look closely, it's got a lot of growth on it, and I think before too long we'll have a lot of leaves. Lots of irises down in here, more hyacinths that went in last fall, and then jasmine along the fence. One little Johnny Jump up here, more Shasta daisies, and climbing roses. These have been quite prolific last year. I need to train them up onto the arbor, but it does look like we're going to get a lot of climbers crossing over the arbor this year. It's taken us about 4 years to get to that point. And another climbing rose. This one's kind of a pinkish orange color when it comes out, and doing very well. This big bush here is getting a lot of flowers. It usually flowers a little bit earlier than this. It's been a little bit delayed. I always forget the name of this one. I wanted to call it gardenia, but it's actually not a gardenia. We have one of those in the front. I always forget this one, but it's I'll try to get the name before next week, and it's doing very well, as it tends to. Jasmine again along the fence, We have all kinds of things back in here. Too many to list. Got some daffodils that are going to come out before too long. Several roses back in here. Calla lilies. Shasta daisies. Hydrangea back in here. Just all kinds of things. So we'll get to see that. Oh, and a butterfly bush, which already is getting quite a few leaves on it. This one's a nice purple color, and it's absolutely beautiful. This area did not do too well last year for the most part. It was kind of what we called a dead zone. A lot of things kind of struggled over here. We do have some daffodils doing pretty well right now. And we had 3 knockout roses in this area. The deer ate them down to the ground. So we'll have to decide if we want to put something back over there or not. We have some hostas, not hostas, I'm sorry, clematis that may or may not come back, hard to tell. Same thing here, and clematis over this way. I think these are going to do pretty well. Along the fence, several of them are already getting buds on them. And then scattered irises. This wisteria, the biggest one we've had, or the biggest one we have in the yard, it's been growing for about 4 years now. Despite the fact that we've cut it back quite a bit, it is huge. It should give us some beautiful purple flowers when the time comes in about 2 or 3 months. Down here, this area is completely fallow and needs a lot of cleanup. This was a combination of 2 irises and a lot of canna. Kind of looks like a cornfield right now. And then have black-eyed Susans and daylilies over in this area. Not a whole lot to show off really at this point, but there will be a lot of color yet to come, and we've tried to build our garden so that it would just give us a sequence of color from the early spring through really well into fall. And last year it certainly did play out that way, so we were able to do videos for about 40 weeks of the year, which I was very happy about. More roses, just a whole combination of different things here. The roses are the most obvious. We haven't cut them back. Really no need to cut them back. They're doing very well, giving us a lot of buds already. And so before too long we should have color again. A few clematis up in here, a couple of lilacs. This one here, not seeing much growth on that yet. This one we just put in last spring. It has a little more growth on it. Hopefully we'll have some flowers before too long. And again, more roses, calla lilies, big climbing rose here. This one doesn't look like much right now, but it's really kind of dominated this area up along the stairs last year. It's getting some leaves again. Big, I should say big clusters of pink roses on that one. Our blueberry bush has some little buds on it, so we'll get some roses off of that, or not roses, but blooms off of that, and hopefully some fruit as well. Haas is back in here, and that kind of brings us full circle. So again, it's not a terribly exciting period of time, but it does tell us what's coming, and every week they develop just a little bit further. So that's our yard for this week, and if you enjoy these, keep watching every week as the flowers develop through the spring, and until next time, happy gardening.